Fans of the Horus Heresy, thank you for joining me for a model and rules review. And today we're looking at the Legion Primus Medicae in Cataphractii Terminator armour. So here we have him. This was the limited release model from the 27th of December. It was only available in Warhammer World and stores. And it's an interesting addition to the Legion force. And it depicts the consul character of a Legion Primus Medicae wearing Cataphractii Terminator armour. So yeah, let's have a look at this guy. So it's very nicely detailed. It's got lots of medical apparatus, pumps, some blood bags. He's got this big apron on, which is kind of obscuring quite a lot of the armour of it, quite a lot of the Cataphractii Terminator armour, but it's still clearly Cataphractii Terminator armour from the leg greaves, and it has these distinctive shoulder pad assemblies that are unique to Cataphractii. Let's have a look then. So he's unhelmeted. He's got a nice respirator device and a little head diode. His cuirass has got a stylized version of the Apollo's staff symbol with a pair of snakes twined around Apollo's staff, and it also has the imperial wings attached to that as well. And a similar icon carries through to his shoulder pad as well, which also introduces this skull device. A pair of pumps attached onto the back of his Terminator armour. When I was building this model, these are sort of like a tongue and groove attachment point. The tongues that go on these were too deep, so I shaved them down a bit, and that gave a flush fit, as you can see here. And I think it's important to do that when you're assembling this, because you get a much stronger contact point, and these, as they're supplied, those are sort of parts that could easily break off. But yeah, he certainly looks apart, and the design cues here carry through nicely with the apothecary models already produced by Forge World. He has the signature Narthesium, the badge of office, you could say, for any Space Marine apothecary. He has some sort of, I presume this is a gene seed extractor, some vials, the chain device as well. I'm sure it can also administer medical aid. And then he's also armed with an unusual looking ranged weapon, which is actually supposed to be a needle pistol, which is a piece of equipment that the Primus Medicae gets as standard. I saw this and I was intrigued by the design, and it was familiar to the original Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader rulebook, and I actually did a little bit of research around that, because it looked familiar, but I didn't think it looked quite like the original needle pistol. And if I just quickly open up the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook, here we have the picture of the needle pistol. Now you can see it's quite a short, stubby affair. And if I hold the Primus Medicae next to it, the proportions are different. And what I actually think the artist has done, sorry about the focus there, what I actually think the artist has done is they've based his weapon on the larger needle gun. And of course a standard pistol in the hands of a Terminator just looks silly because the armoured gauntlets are so big. So they've actually used a needle gun as a basis for his weapon, which is a nice little retro throwback with the imagery. Although it's a shame he doesn't actually get a needle gun in the game, just armed with a needle pistol. But yeah, a very good model. It went together well. I mean, when I bought this, these come in clear shell packages. I picked one out which had no mould issues or faults. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for the kit quality on that one. And if you buy one, just check out the miniature that you're buying, because I did see mould slips on a few of them, particularly around some of the shoulder pad studding designs on the arms, which could be tricky to put right. So let's have a quick overview of the rules of this guy. So the Primus Medicae is a rather specialised character in the Space Marine Legion list, and not perhaps something for every Legion for everyday use. So a Primus Medicae is a console upgrade to a Centurion. It's 45 points on top of a 90. On top of the base 50, so it works out at 95. Then if you add the Cataphractii Terminator armour, you come out at 130. And just to flick back, actually, the insert from the pack actually comes with all the rules in it. Unlike some of these unique Forge World models, these limited release ones, there's no points discount on this guy. He's just standard straight points. But it's useful to get it in the rules, and it's, you know, I'd like to see Games Workshop do a lot more of this, including the rules with the miniature approach. So I think it's something that other games have been doing quite a long time. Okay, so what does a Primus Medicae get? So he gets an Arthesium, so he can feel no pain to any unit it's attached to, and also a needle pistol. I mean, I guess Terminator armour-wise, he's wearing Cataphractii, but you could just as easily say he's wearing Tartaros or Indomitus if you wanted to attach him to other Terminators. I think you'd have to have a particularly fussy opponent not to pull that off. He does get some restrictions on his rules. He can't take a Power Fist, a Chain Fist, a Boarding Shield, or a pair of Lightning Claws. So basically it's saying you can't have any of these heavy assault weapons, because how on earth are you going to perform his function as a medic with those attached? So that makes sense. He's a Legion support officer, so you can never take him as a compulsory HQ, and nor can you ever include him in an allied detachment. So basically he's there for big force deployments of his own Legion only, which I think makes sense when you think about what he's representing. Right, so he gets another unique rule, which is the thing that sets him apart from normal apothecaries. This is called Sacred Trust, and in a game where victory points are being scored for destroying units, if he is within 6 inches, or if Primus Medicae is within 6 inches of a friendly Space Marine infantry or jump infantry unit which is wiped out by the enemy, you roll a d6. On a 5+, the controlling player whose unit destroyed gains a victory point as well as the enemy. So basically it kind of allows you to mitigate some points for losing troops. And given his equipment, he's got the armour to get up close and personal. And if you're playing, Ironhand's Legion, for example, as I do, and you played you have an option to equip with a Cyber Familiar. So if you do that, then you've got a 2+3++ save, and he's extremely solid, so he can definitely afford to get in close. Right, so how useful is that though, given you're looking at 130 points to get a Terminator medic? Well, I think there are some forces which it'll tie nicely with. So hard-hitting, long-range Terminator support units, such as Iron Warriors Tyrants, Siege Tyrant Terminators, or Ultramarines Fulmentaris Terminators, I can see him working alongside well to mitigate casualties they take. And if you really stack up your defensive bonuses, take a unit of Tyrant Siege Terminators, park them next to a Deradio with an Atomantic Pavis, and then attach this fella as well, and you've got a rock solid unit. Objective camping units as well, Lyrian Terminators are very good at that. Stick this guy along with them, made them tougher. It depends on your Legion. And most Legions, with the exception of, say, Ironhand's Gorgon Terminators and World Eaters, Red Butchers, they don't have a natural feel no pain ability. So that's what this guy allows you to do. It allows you to get that feel no pain in to that unit, into that Terminator unit. It's got one specialist application which applies, and this applies to the World Eaters only. And the World Eaters in Book 6 Retribution have a special unique character called Garland Serlak, and basically he's a corrupted World Eater apothecarian who speeds up the gene seed implantation process to create some crazy new hyper-aggressive Astartes tactical marines. And basically those guys, they cease to score, but also in games when you score victory points for destroying enemy units, your opponent doesn't get any victory points for killing them. However, the Sacred Trust rule still holds true. So if the enemy wipes out your tactical squad of Legion inductees, you can still throw, and on a 5 or 6, you gain a victory point, even though you've lost a squad of troops. So actually, you can reverse that unit destruction onto your opponent. I think you're basically saying, well, they don't care because they're getting the gene seed back. So yeah, and given his, the fact he's in Cataphractii Terminator armour, it means you could afford to march in with assaulting troops like that, and you've got excellent defence. Particularly if you put him in a unit of Terminator bodyguard around him as well. And I wonder if that's why on the cover art or the packet art, they depicted the Primus Medicae wearing Legion, World Eater Legion Terminator colours. But yes, so there you have it, the Legion Primus Medicae in Cataphractii Terminator armour, unique store model by Forge World. Yeah, let me know what you think about this guy in the comment section. I'll post a couple of links to the out of the pack review and the time-lapse build test I did on this guy as well. But thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you next time, and goodbye.